In the middle of a loud, bustling town, where the cars never seemed to stop honking and the sky always looked tired, there lived a little boy named Micheal. He was only 7 years old, but there was something unusually still about him. His eyes didn't dance like most children's. Instead, they sat quietly in his small face, like two tired moons that had seen too much. Micheal's parents were known in the neighborhood as hardworking and successful. His mother, Mama Titi, and his father, Papa Kola, owned one of the biggest stores in town. It was the kind of place that came alive before the sun even stretched its arms and stayed open long after the moon had begun to doze off. People said they were lucky, people said Micheal was lucky. But inside their small, rented apartment on the second floor of a faded orange building, luck didn't always look like what it seemed. Every morning, sharp at 6 o'clock, Mama Titi would smooth Micheal's hair, give him a quick kiss on the forehead, and Papa Kola would pat his back before locking the door behind them. They always left together, early and tired, heading to the store. Every night, at exactly 11 p.m., they would return, dragging their feet, their voices hoarse, and their minds too full to say more than, "Did you eat today?" Then they would sigh and collapse into sleep, their bodies too drained to notice anything else. Because they couldn't leave Micheal alone, they left him in the care of someone they trusted, Aunty Shella, Papa Kola's cousin. She was only 25, young and energetic, with long braids that flowed down her back like black rivers and lips that loved to smile in front of people. In public, she was friendly. She helped Mama Titi with errands. She laughed loudly at Papa Kola's dry jokes. Everyone called her Sweet Shella. But inside the house, behind closed doors, Aunty Shella's smile turned into something else. It started slowly. She would invite Micheal into her room and close the door softly behind them. "Let's play a special game," she'd say, her voice sugary, her eyes watchful. "It's called the secret room game." Micheal didn't understand what it meant the first time. But he knew how it made his chest tighten. He knew how his hands trembled when she locked the door. And most of all, he knew it wasn't the kind of game other children played. There were no toys. No laughter. Just silence. Just whispers. Just things he didn't understand, and didn't know how to speak about. "Don't tell anyone," she'd say, brushing his hair with her fingers afterward. "This is just between us. Our little secret." And so, Micheal kept the secret. He kept it when Mama Titi came home too tired to notice the change in her son's hugs. He kept it when Papa Kola asked him if he had finished his homework, but never asked how he felt. Micheal learned to wear masks that covered his quiet eyes, his heavy heart, his shaken soul. He learned to smile. To say, "I'm fine." To nod when they asked if he was okay. And the adults, always busy, always exhausted, believed him. Every night, when the house sank into sleep, Micheal lay awake. He listened to the fan spinning lazily above his head, and to the sound of his own heart beating like footsteps in a dark hallway. He wondered if anyone could hear it. He wondered if anyone could see him through the mask he wore. He wished someone would knock on the door of the secret room. He wished someone would say, "Micheal, this game isn't right. You don't have to play it anymore." But no one came. He became good at pretending. Good at hiding. But he was just a boy, 7 years old, too young to carry such a heavy thing on his tiny shoulders. At school, his teachers noticed he rarely laughed. He often stared out the window. But they thought maybe he was just a quiet child. Some children are just shy, they told themselves. No one ever asked what was happening at home. No one ever asked about the secret room. One evening, after his parents had come home, Papa Kola found Micheal sitting silently in the kitchen, his untouched food in front of him. "What's wrong?" he asked. Micheal looked up. For a moment, just a brief flicker, his eyes spoke. But then he blinked and the mask returned. "Nothing," he whispered. "I'm just tired." Papa Kola nodded. "We are all tired," he said, patting Micheal's shoulder. But Micheal wasn't tired from school or from play. He was tired from pretending. Tired from being afraid. Tired from being alone with a secret too big for any child to hold. The next day, Aunty Shella came again, braids swinging, smile wide. "Ready for our game?" she asked. Micheal nodded slowly. But deep inside, a quiet voice in him was beginning to stir. A voice that whispered, "This isn't right." A voice that said, "Someone will see you. Someone will hear you. One day." And even though he didn't yet know how to speak that truth, even though he still wore his mask, a small part of Micheal was learning that secrets like this should not be kept.